Schlossberg, Managing Director at BK Asset Management.
BK Asset Management's Kathy Lean.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Just give me 1 second. I just want to pin this post to make sure that everyone is on. Hold on, going live. Give me 1 second to just pin this post. Good morning, everyone. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you are caught in this snowstorm that I'm in right now in the Northeast. Pretty much pretty much my entire neighborhood is out of power. But for, some fortunate reason, I'm in this nice little sliver, which still has power right now for now. So we'll see. And we'll see how long it goes. Just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to pin this post here. Boris, if you can pin the PTE one, that would be great. Just give me 1 second. All right, live now. Let's see. Post this. I'm going to pin this. Yeah, I'm sure it's not, New Jersey over 20 inches. I think I've got 18 inches here, Tony. And, like I said, it seems like everyone in more than half of my neighborhood, probably 3/4 of my neighborhood is out of power. But I am in this nice little sliver that isn't. But I'm looking out the window. The wind is still very high. And I may actually have to get out my shovel this time. Usually I wait till the snow plowers come in, the shovelers come in, but I think it's going to be a long time since they do so. And I fear that it's all going to freeze over before I actually get a chance to get out. But it has been an almost terrible winter. I wish I was in Vegas right now. 65 degrees. I mean, I was just in Florida with my kids for winter break, and it was like 85 degrees. So it was great. But I'm also really glad that I managed to get out and get back here on the trading desk because there's so much to talk about. Good morning, G Drums. Good morning from Mexico, Ephraim. There's a lot going on in your corner of the world, isn't there, Ephraim? I mean, it's basically snowstorm, Iran, and Puerto Vallarta. I mean, those are the big news over the weekend, right? It seems like it's pretty insane. But we had a fantastic trading week last week. We only traded, I think, 2 or 3 days, and we stuck to our zip trades. 130 pips, smooth and easy. This week I'm trading every single day this week. So I'm looking forward to, some nice opportunities on that front. Let me see if PTE got pinned. I don't know if Boris is on, on that.
Hey, no, sorry, I haven't been
Okay,
able
so
to
please do that.
the PT. I don't think I have a login. That's why I can't pin it.
Okay, I see you've done it before in the past. So
or myself. Anyways, you can do that now. I'll just take over for a second, guys. Hi, guys. Good morning. I just want to let you know a little bit of preview of what's coming up. I have a whole bunch of new stuff to show you. I worked very, very hard over the weekend. One of the big stories away from politics has been, does AI actually replace ourselves and replace all of our jobs, or does it actually create more work? And I think anybody who's actually worked with AI, instead of somebody who just pontificates about it without actually using it, understands that AI, in my opinion, creates a lot more work instead of just actually replacing all the work for you. I have been using AI very, very actively, as you guys know, to create all sorts of tools for you. And I have a whole bunch of new stuff that I'm going to show you today in the show. So stay tuned. Some very, very cool stuff, free tools for you guys to use as part of our trading strategy series. But anyways, my point is that I think AI I haven't worked as hard in my life as I have over the last couple of weeks, because I've been so deep engrossed in using AI. Because the irony of the whole thing is, of course, AI does all the dirty work, so you could actually do more of the high level work as you go forward. So I think all of this alarmist talk about how AI is going to replace all of our jobs is nonsense as usual. And I put a post on there from a very intelligent guy who's a big AI coder over there, talking about how actually, if you use all of these AI agents it's a lot more expensive than actually using human beings. So there's always two sides to
Well,
the story.
I would have to say all the Google employees that got laid off would beg to differ, Boris. And
Yeah,
all the tech
the Google
employees that got
employees,
laid off
you
would
understand
beg to differ.
the Google employees may be, but there are, for every Google employee that got laid off, there's probably 10,000 regular people that have created a lot more wealth and value.
I totally disagree with you. Like, you don't even need to hire web designers right now. You can design your website yourself. So a lot of this, people have to learn new skills in order to keep their job or get new jobs.
No doubt. People
You don't have to hire half the things you're doing. Your programmers, your web designers, those are all people out of jobs.
No, those are people who are going to be doing different kind of jobs. That's the
They,
point.
unless they're old dogs, they got to learn it. They're going to first lose their job and then get.
They're going to be doing a lot more different jobs. I think this is an argument we've always had about technology, where new technology comes in and everybody's afraid that it's going to, this argument of like machines will replace us, we won't have any work to do, always doesn't seem to work. We seem to create a lot more new work with different kind of skills and habits as we go forward. And my point is that if you're actually deeply working with this product, you're doing a lot more work than less. That's the key point. And I think that's the key thing to understand. Anyways, I'll let you guys start with the macros, but this was just I think this is going to be a permanent conversation we're all going to be having, certainly this year, next year, as our culture changes, our society changes, and it's interesting to see how it develops.
Well, speaking of AI and jobs, one of the big reports this week is Wednesday's NVIDIA earnings.
Right.
We've got, we know that NVIDIA carries the market, and NASDAQ for sure, all of the markets, and that's going to also play a big role on risk appetite. So there's a lot going on this week. We've got tariff fallouts. We've got U.S. consumer confidence report tomorrow. We have NVIDIA earnings on Wednesday. We have jobless claims on Thursday, and we have 11 Federal Reserve speakers, including the two that basically dissented in favor of a rate cut at the last meeting. So there's a lot going on in the markets to talk about. Gafor, if you're interested in my book, Prop Trading Secrets, the one behind me over there, you can get that on Amazon or BarnesandNobles.com. It's pretty easy to get there. They may even have a digital version if you can't get it easily sent over to you. All right, so let's talk about macro. Let's talk about the moves that we had over the weekend, because I think, I want you to type in the chat, who thought that we would have had a bigger move in the markets than we currently have? I mean, raise your hand. If you thought, with the tariffs being raised from 10% to 15%, thank you so much, Tony, from 10% to 15%, who thought we would have had a bigger move, bigger sell-off in stocks, bigger sell-off in the US dollar, as well as more significant rally in gold? So Glad says he thinks we have. Andrew says that. Ben says that. It seems like everyone here thinks that we should have had a bigger reaction in the markets. Well, first and foremost, the one thing that you did get, and the one thing that you should be learning, is that we had a gap in the markets. And let's go take a look at it right now. Hold on one second. I'm going to share with you my screen, and we're going to look at the moves in the markets. Give me 1 second. Where's my share screen? Share screen. Okay, so this is the NASDAQ. This is, let's go to 15-minute chart. So this is the NASDAQ, right? And where's my arrow? This is basically the gap open right at Asia session. No surprise, everyone expected the gap open in the Asia session, because from 10% to 15% clearly indicates an escalation and suggests to us that, President Trump is really doubling down on this and, not backing off at all, and, really wants to take on, the Supreme Court. Now, what's interesting here is that you don't necessarily see it in here. Let's see if we see it in the S&P. Sorry, the ES. But you see that we initially sold off, and this sell-off did last for, let's say, I would say about 6 or 7 hours. So it lasted for 6 and 7 hours, stabilized, and then rebounded. And the gap wasn't quite filled, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the market did try to attempt to fill that gap. Gold, on the other hand, where is gold here? Gold, we see this in here. Gold, we have gold gap open at the Asia session, and then pretty much comes close to filling the gap. So the first thing you should know is that when it comes to big announcements and big market moves, you also see this in dollar yen, that typically in the first couple hours you will have a big movement. Usually, I'll have to be honest, usually it doesn't last 4 or 5 hours. Usually it lasts 1-2 hours, if even. But usually you get a big market move. But once you see signs of stabilization, gaps are almost always either filled or attempted to be filled. And especially in currencies, dollar yen, this dollar yen gap was completely filled for the most part. And while we had sell off in Asia, we had recovery throughout the European session. In Eurodollar, we had this gap over here, and we had a huge surge in the Eurodollar. And this is what is more typical, which is that it only lasts for about an hour rather than 4 hours, for example. So this only lasts about an hour, consolidates, makes a lower high, and then completely fills that gap. Now in gold, we don't have that gap completely filled, almost filled, but it's good, it's close enough. And NASDAQ or S&P, we were nowhere, we're close, but nowhere close to filling the gap. But the one thing I want to point to you is that oftentimes in Asia, and this is something that you will need to learn, I think, going forward, is that, in Asia, that's when you get the continuation. In Europe, that's when you oftentimes get the gap filling. And then in New York is when you oftentimes will get the new direction. And that's really what I think is important to talk about, which is that in New York, you oftentimes get the new direction in the markets. So if we look at the NASDAQ, you can see on a daily chart and in my BK trend meter, which is basically multiple time frame analysis at a glance, that the NASDAQ is not that bearish. On the daily chart, you have the NASDAQ below the 2050-100, which is pretty much where we've been at for the past week and change. And the short-term meters, 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour, also not extraordinarily bearish. Now, when it comes to gaps, the longer the gap is not filled, the more significant the move is. I'm going to hide this for a minute. So the longer the gap is not filled, the more significant the move is, and the more likely that we will actually see a continuation move. So you've got to keep an eye here. If we draw our trend line here, you can see that the levels to watch, I think maybe we can even draw it from here. Yeah. The levels to watch is really going to be in NASDAQ, 24,000, let's say 980 or so. Although 25,000 is really the confirmed close. Now, if we close above this line over here, then, some really good news has happened. The downtrend is over. But I think that we're probably going to go up here. And then, we're probably going to go see a movement somewhat like this. And then we'll probably see a movement somewhat like this, where it basically rejects that movement. So this is the trend line. 25,000 is really the level to watch. Keep an eye out for that, because that will decide whether or not we continue onwards. Now, if we look at gold, MGC, you can see we already gapped up. So gold, like I said earlier, we see it in the CFD more, where we kind of filled the gap. It's already done its job. It's pretty much there. Now the real move of the day can happen. Now I can already tell that the SMA meters are probably a little bit negative on the short-term basis. 5, 15, 1 hour, it's negative, but I would be a buyer around the gap levels, 51.25 or so. I think it could come down towards 151.25, but this is a pretty nice gap up. And I think, there's a clear triangle pattern. Sorry, it's not behaving, but there's a clear upside triangle breakout here that's happening, depending upon where you draw it from. There's a clear upside triangle breakout. It's probably going to come back a little bit test, but there's a lot of reasons why gold and the NASDAQ could continue. And one of those reasons is because markets have really short-term memory. And back in April, when we had Liberation Day, which was this period here, back in April when we had Liberation Day, this was Liberation Day, April 2nd in the evening. So April 2nd in the evening, we had Liberation Day. And so this was the market close. And you can see, sorry, that's not what I wanted. Let me get my percentage change. You can see here that on Liberation Day, this move in the NASDAQ was about 16%, was about 14%. So pretty big move here in the NASDAQ off of the Liberation Day tariffs. So right now, stock futures are down only 0.5%. Gold is up less than somewhere between about 1%. And dollar yen is barely moved. So why in the world did this Liberation Day tariff have such a big move and we're having such a small move today? Well, first off, this came completely left field. And while the global tariffs were also a bit of a surprise, and the timing of SCOTUS's decision was also a surprise, what you can see here is that overall, from what the market is showing you, is that there could be more room to the downside, because from this perspective, you can tell that the markets is thinking a few things right now. It's thinking that the tariffs could either be rolled back, they could be reduced, or they could be segmented by country. We've seen this movie before. The market thinks that Trump is going to walk these back. How many people think Trump is going to walk this back? Raise your hand. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Trump is going to walk back the tariffs? Yes? No? Let me know. Now, the way the tariffs stand right now, I believe it's 15%. He can implement them for 150 days. I mean, that's almost that's 5 months, almost half a year. So he doesn't need to make the announcements and start rolling them back immediately. I am sure, lots of you say no. More of you say no than yes, that he's not going to roll back the tariffs. I'm actually really surprised by that. Glad says, I think he's going to push it as far as he can. I guarantee you that his decision on rolling it back or not is going to depend on how stocks do. If stocks suddenly crash, he's going to roll them back. If stocks stay where they are right now and we only see like 0.5% move, or maybe 0.5% move a day, and it's kind of quiet and gradual, they're here to stay for a while, as long as he can push it, as long as he can push the Supreme Court, and as long as he can push whoever it is he's trying to strong arm, that they're going to stay. And that is part of the reason why I think there's more room to the downside. I think 180 points off of this is not enough. 15% tariffs are quite brutal. I also do think he's kind of going to be talking to these countries, and these countries are going to want to have their own individual agreements, which is something we've also seen in the past. So I do think that they're going to have their own individual agreements, and that could bring some relief to the markets. But at this stage, this is not the type of move. This is probably the type of move that Trump is very happy with, and that he's going to, this is the perfect description, the line. He's going to push it as far as he can, as Glad says, until we get, maybe this broken. If we see, let me get a white line going here. If we see this broken to the downside, that's when I think he's going to start to, or get close to here, he's going to talk about rolling it back. So if you all agree with me, and it seems like most of you do agree with me that he's not going to roll them back, then we have to assume that I don't think it's going to be this bad. I certainly don't think it's going to be 14%, but it's certainly not going to be 0.75%, right? I mean, it certainly says that, we're still like over here in the upper right-hand corner. I think at least 5% is reasonable, maybe 4%, 5% drop in stocks is reasonable if these stay into place. And that's what I think. So many are wondering, what's going to happen to NASDAQ? I think, and it seems, we try to use rationality to draw our conclusions. And I think that you all agree with me that, as long as stocks are not falling lower, that it's just going to drip lower, that we haven't seen the end of these moves. And then very much, same theory in gold, right? Gold back in April. What was this move? April 2nd, Liberation Day. We actually had gold fall initially, which is, it was just based upon the reason why this happened. It was just mass liquidation. Markets were surprised by it, mass liquidation. Traders sold everything in sight. But not too long after, they bought back gold, and gold rallied, over 16%. My lines are not, basically 18%. So gold is, of course, at a record, hit a record high already. But I think we could easily get to 5,300, 5,400, if not even higher. I'm very bullish gold this year. I think metals are going to get, to fresh all-time highs. And so I'm very bullish gold. I think that's really the way to trade all of this. And the dollar this is a pretty ugly setup in the dollar. I know we have a long wick in dollar yen, but if we can't recapture this high here at 155.30, I think that we're going to move lower. I think, the tariffs are going to lead to further dollar yen weakness. If we go to April, of 2025. This was the Liberation Day. Let's see. This was Liberation Day, and dollar yen dropped 7%. Right now, it's down just 0.3%. So Liberation Day, we're down 7%. Basically, I'm trying to tell you, I think there's more room to the downside to all of this. And I think that this is just a gradual stabilization. I think, the markets are at the brink of falling even further. And last week, I published some tables indicating that, smart money is selling, dumb money is buying. And if smart money is selling and dumb money is buying, that is going to be a problem. And that is going to be something that I think, and traders really have to pay attention to, because smart money is smart money for a reason. And so if smart money is selling and dumb money is buying, who do you think is right? I think that, I don't think that I need to draw that conclusion for you. I think you can know yourself which ones you think is right versus wrong. All right. So that's that. Now, in terms of data, well, actually, no. Let's look at CME Fed Fund futures first and see if we had any changes in what the market thinks the Federal Reserve is going to do this year. Now, right now, we're in March. Current interest rates are 3.5 to 3.25%. Sorry, right now we are in February. The next meeting's in March. Current interest rates are 3.5 to 3.25%. Market thinks that rates will remain unchanged. No surprises there. The first time they think that there's going to be the possibility of a rate cut is in June, where the market's pricing in about a 50% chance of a rate cut. So this is less than we had. This is about the same that we had about a week ago. Slightly greater chance that rates will remain unchanged. But so the market is pricing a slightly smaller chance of a June interest rate cut. And part of the reason we've had weak GDP, we had weak data from the US, and yet the dollar remains firm, yet the odds are lower. And part of the reason is because, for the most part, people are worried about inflation. They're still worried about, they still see underlying strength in the labor market. The jobless claims data is very, very good. And that is why the jobless claims data will be so important, and why the main thing to watch this week will really be all of the Fed speak. We have 11 Federal Reserve presidents speaking this week. We have 11 of them, including Mirren and I want to say Waller was the one. Let me double check who it was. But there was 2 central bank presidents that voted in favor of interest rate cuts. And, those are the 2. It was Waller. Yeah. Waller is speaking in 5 minutes, and Waller voted in favor of interest rate cuts. And if the language there has changed at all, that could affect the markets. Waller and Mirren. Mirren has actually indicated that he's less dovish. So Fed speak is going to be very, very important. Consumer confidence tomorrow is going to be very, very important. We did have some data from other countries. Eurozone data has been very good. PMIs were good, German retail, and also the IFO report came in stronger. I really like euros. I think Euro, EU is seeing stabilization and growth. They are forgoing the US. They're starting to engage in trade deals with other countries. It's above most of the major moving averages. I think we're going to see Eurodollar up above at least to 120, probably above 120 this year. And I think, it's just going to be a gradual move upwards for the euro. We also had New Zealand credit card spending data that was really good, but unfortunately, Kiwis have been held back a little bit by the dovish hold from the RBNZ. So Kiwi and Aussie are the worst performers, even though, Australia also had blowout jobs numbers. Really, really good jobs numbers, but it's still holding at the upper right-hand corner of the chart. The distance for Australia and New Zealand and the reliance on China really has been sheltering those currencies and sheltering those economies. So I continue to be bullish Aussie, and I continue to, for the most part, be bullish Kiwis. Aussie, I think, could continue to move higher. Kiwi a little less so, but still, I think is going to outperform. So tomorrow, we also have Australian inflation data. And with Australian inflation data, RBA has been kind of hawkish, or not hawkish, but they've been neutral hawkish or less dovish. So I think these inflation numbers should be relatively good, especially since inflation expectations have been a little hotter. President Trump speaking on, I'm going to change this just to the high level events. President Trump is speaking on Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. Don't forget, we're continuing to watch Iran and the negotiations with Iran. Markets are not, part of the reason why we're not seeing big moves in the markets today is because Iran, the Iran was not attacked over the weekend. So Iran was not attacked over the weekend. The negotiations are continuing, and President Trump says that he's considering limited targeted strikes. So geopolitical risk has subsided a little bit, but it hasn't disappeared. And so it's simply been deferred. And so investors need to realize that. And so every single time Trump speaks, it could be about tariffs, it could be about Iran, we've got to listen. So Tuesday night, brace for any interesting announcements from that. It is, something that, is a forum that Trump could use to make an announcement. Because as Ben said, it's the State of the Union. So it's a pretty big deal. And then we have jobless claims on Thursday. And then Friday, we have core PPI. I think core PPI is far less interesting because CPI was already weaker. Canada has GDP numbers. We did have really good Q4 retail sales. So those numbers could surprise to the upside. The main focus this week for all of you is going to be, and I'm going to write on my charts here. The main focus this week is going to be, number one, Fed speak. Number two, Trump headlines, State of the Union. Let me just drop this. State of the Union. Number three, consumer confidence in the U.S. Number four, NVIDIA earnings. Number five, jobless claims. Those are going to be the main, and of course, any Iran headlines. So these are the 6 things to watch this week. These are the 6 things that could affect how the market trades. And I also want you to keep an eye on the trend meters because it could tell you whether or not you're going to get, we're still quite bearish dollar yen. But if you see the NASDAQ right now, some of them are still a little green. I'm going to flip over and see they're still a little green. So, maybe NASDAQ has seen a bit of its sell-off today. We also have less probably participation today in the U.S. because, there's a ban on travel and moving around in the New York region. So not many people, not everyone can get to the New York Stock Exchange to go to work today. So that could affect some of the volume that we see in the markets, although I have not personally seen headlines that the New York Stock Exchange has been closed. Though it was closed for, I think, Hurricane Sandy for the last weather issue, but it has not been closed for Blizzard Hernando today. So it's still, markets are still open, but there will be less participation, which means that whatever's happening in the markets will probably stick, but we may not see any big moves one way or other. But these are the big headlines. If you want the BK trend meters, you can get them completely free by using the edge code with any of your favorite prop firms like Ola Prime, Tradeify. We just added Lucid. Use the edge code, forward us your receipt. You'll get the best discounts that they offer, top 1 futures, and we'll give you access to trend meters, which is basically your trend radar. Multiple time frame at a glance. If you want Apex, they're 90% off. So the code there is BK Save. So for everyone else, use the code EDGE. For Apex, it's BK Save. 90% off, expires very soon. I forgot what the expiration date is. You know what it is, Boris?
It expires tomorrow, so go get them, babies. Go get load up. Load up.
I have heard of lock funding. We haven't really, done our full due diligence on working with them, but so we're not set up with them. But the other ones you can use the Edge code, Tradeify, Lucid, top 1. I mean, those are pretty much the best out there. Ola Prime as well.
Yes. There's some interesting news. Tradeify went live on wealth charts today. So those of you who have Tradeifys, we can trade wealth charts with it now too. So yes, there's just a whole bunch. The industry is getting super competitive, which means it's becoming super, super attractive to everybody. Everybody is just producing better products at cheaper prices. So there's just a lot more opportunity to pass props across multiple prop firms. So we're going to be all about that in this whole year. So hopefully you guys will all enjoy it.
Okay, so there's some questions. So you're calling war and tariffs with gold all-time highs is stronger yet? Yes. I mean, war and tariffs impacts gold directly along with the Japanese yen. A bit more hawkish than previously because of strong labor data. I'm assuming that's what you're saying from Waller. Yeah, that's exactly what we're saying. Waller is and Mirren, who's going to speak later this week, is probably going to be less dovish and therefore more positive. With Ola Prime, you can use, they have a futures platform. I think you're right. I'm not sure about MT5 for futures, but you can certainly trade CFDs. A lot of you are still more comfortable trading on MT4, MT5.
No, the answer is no. You can't trade futures on Ola MT5 platform. Only DX futures you can trade futures on. Ola does have on their website that they're going to be able to have Tradeivate coming soon, which will be very, very interesting. So we're waiting for that. But you can trade MT5, and I'm going to have lots and lots of information regarding MT5 and Tradeivate and wealth charts for you guys coming up in the next hour. So do not leave your seats. All sorts of cool stuff coming your way.
The bottom line is, you guys are all, trading with a broker, trading with prop, but and we encourage you to continue to do so. But if you want access to our tools, you can use our Edge code. Then, that's kind of the advantage that we're trying to give you, which is, definitely use our tools, including the ones that Boris is going to share with you. Send us your receipt to contact@bktraders.com and let us know that you've made that you deposited with ACAP. We also, you can use your code with ACAP as well. Or you can open a broker account with ACAP, and we'll be more than happy to give you access to all of these tools.
Yes, and I'm going to be trading with those tools for you guys. Remember, we're now on a sort of a set schedule where I'm trading futures with you guys Monday through Friday, but I'm trading CFDs Monday through Wednesday, and we're going to be exposing all of the virtues of all these tools with you guys Monday through Wednesday. So 7 to 8:30. Primarily gold, but we're going to trade. We also trade Nasdaq and even some US 30 if things percolate. Asia session actually super popular. Everybody loves the Asia session. So come join me 7 to 8:30 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday every week. I'll post a link a little bit later, and those tools will be on display, so you guys can be able to see exactly how to use them. Right?
Yes, you can trade gold with Lucid, with Tradeify, with Ola Prime. So make sure you use code EDGE to get their best discount at any point in time. Our code is always set at all the best discounts for these firms. So make sure you use code EDGE because you can still be trading it with any of these firms.
Absolutely. And you know, Lucid, who we've just opened up partnership with, they have this super inexpensive discount. I think it's Lucid Flex at $75, no recurring fees, like literally just straight up front fee to get yourself funded. And there you can.
You can also get, the trend meter by becoming a BK member. So you can get that as well. So many different ways that you can get access to our tools. So definitely check them out. So I'm going to turn it over to Boris if there's no additional questions. And if you want Zip, that's part of the BK membership. Also, just so you guys know, I am I talk a lot about knowing when to trade and knowing when not to trade. Market timing is very, very important. Also, market timing during the day, you know, how things move during the New York session, London session, Asia session, London close, New York close. All of those have different behaviors. So I just put together a really incredible course on market timing. We're rolling it out on Thursday. So make sure you stay on top of our socials, get on our email list, and you'll be notified of it.
Yeah. This is probably the most important thing that we can leave you with. It's never about what you trade or how you trade. It's always about when you trade. You can have the greatest strategy with the best instrument, and you're going to get decimated if you don't know when to trade. Or you can have a mediocre strategy with a mediocre instrument, but if you're trading at the right time, you could actually turn it into a winning strategy. That's what Kathy's new course is all about. It's really the single most important indicator, and it's not an indicator at all. It's when you should be trading. So great educational course you put together. Watch out for it coming this Thursday, okay?
All right. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy live trading with Boris.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you. All right, guys. Oh, let me share my screen. Hang on. We're going to be sharing wealth charts to start with, just to kind of start the show. I have so much to tell you today, guys. I have so many cool things to show you. First of all, kind of a review of Friday. You know, we had such an interesting. Oh, you know what? Hang on a second. What's going on here? Why is my thing not on here? What happened to my session? Let me give me just 1 sec. I want to actually stop screen, share screen. I actually want to do entire screen. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to share the whole entire screen because I want to show you something interesting. So on the left, actually, we have wealth charts. On the right, we have my Trade-Evade accounts. I want to keep those Trade-Evade accounts trading because we'll probably trade them a little bit later. We'll obviously trade a little bit of wealth charts. But the main conversation I really wanted to have with you guys today is what an amazingly cool Friday session we had with my friend Austin Silver, who introduced me to really the finer points of VWAP. And no sooner had he done that than I've actually gone out there and created something very interesting for you, which I'm going to show you in just 1 second. But if you guys remember, if you guys sort of remember when I left you guys on Friday, I was bleeding red. I mean, there wasn't an account of mine that I had that was not red, right? And yet, if you saw the video that I posted on my Twitter or on our X, at the end of the day, I turned half those accounts from red to green. And the reason was actually twofold, right? And I think this is what I want to start with the conversation today before trading really begins in the next 5-10 minutes. I did two things that radically changed my performance, and I keep doing those things. Number one, I stopped doing a 1-to-3 risk reward. I went to a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio. I just decided, you know, I looked at all my trades. I did a full audit, and I realized that if I can be 3 out of 4 on a 1-to-2, I have a much, much better edge than trying to be 5 out of 6 on a 1-to-3, right? I have to be too perfect to kind of continue the edge. With a 1-to-2, I don't mind getting stopped out more because my recovery rate is going to be much, much faster. And I only need to be 3 out of 4. And I actually became 3 out of 4. In fact, I started hitting sometimes even 4 out of 5 on picking good trades. The second thing that I did that completely, reversed all my flows was I tried to trade strictly only in the direction of VWAP, right? As Oz told us, and only with the very, very few occasions when I really had a good reason to trade against VWAP on a turn basis, and that radically changed. And that approach continues this morning. If you look at, I'm trading my real accounts overnight, so that was all going well. But then, like at around 6 o'clock, I just flipped over to my wealth charts. I have two eval accounts in wealth charts, 82 and 83, right? 82, I just literally started this morning. It's a 25,000. I'm already up $400. All I'm doing is trading towards VWAP. I'm trading longs, right? On a 1 to 2 basis, I'm trading 10 points target, 20 points stop. When I get to New York Open, we're going to trade 20 point target, 40 point stop. I widen my volatility to the session, but I widen my volatility generally so that I don't get, I stay in trades longer, and I give them more time to develop, and I earn more per trade. I'm much more efficient in earning more per trade if I'm earning 10 per trade versus 5 per trade, right? So those are all like kind of things that really were interesting changes in what I was doing. But then I went, and of course I couldn't do this any other way. The newest version of BFF Dots on TradingView, and it's not on wealth charts, and probably won't be on wealth charts for a while, so don't ask me. It's not my fault. It's just there is a much longer update process with wealth charts. With TradingView, I can do this instantly, which is why I say if you have a wealth charts account, you need to have a TradingView account. You can have a free one. A free one will let you have my indicator as long as you can attach my indicator to a free one. So long as you suffer through advertising, as you can have it. But generally, if you're trading prop and you're spending $100, $200, $300 on accounts, and you're too cheap to spend $12 on a basic foundational TradingView subscription, come on, guys, let's be serious, be real. Just get the basic $12 a month subscription. You'll have everything you need. So F10 over here has something super interesting. When you go into settings, right, you can have a trend filter here based upon the 200 SMA or by VWAP, right, by VWAP. And I switched it to VWAP. And what you're going to see, which is really remarkable. First of all, actually, let me show you the original setup. If I go to the 200 SMA, right, what's going to happen is, we're winding up and down. And more importantly, I'm trading Christmas trees on a trend basis. Kind of works and sometimes doesn't work. So in this case, the sells does work. In this case, the sell, I think, stops me. In this case, the sell doesn't quite go down into the target. But if you switch yourself to VWAP, which is a longer term, more durable trend structure, you see that what happens is all of the Christmas trees are actually in the buy mode, and they all work. This one works, this one works, this one works, this one doesn't work. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 33. No, this one survives. 3, this one doesn't. So it's 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1. I need to be 3, 1 to be ahead of the game. And I was 7, 1 this morning, which is how I got to $25,400 in a matter of an hour and a half on my $25,000 eval account. And that's made all the difference in the world. You stay on the side of VWAP with, of course, our proprietary dot structure. The combination of the 1-2 punch, deadly, just super cool. So if you guys want, go up there, delete the one you have, attach the new one. It's an F10 extension, a brand new extension. Go crazy, okay? Yes, I'm risking 10. I'm risking 20 to make 10. Okay, instead of risking, I was risking 10 to sorry. I was risking 30 to make 10. Now I'm risking 20 to make 10. I've cut my risk. Okay. You cannot get trading BK indicators on TradingView. Need help in order to get BK to get my indicators. You need to be part of my coaching, my friend. So if you want to be part of my coaching, here's the link. Oops. Sorry, guys, I killed it. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Sorry. Just a second. All right, I'm back in business. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. This is what you need to do. Okay, this is the link to be able to get my indicators, be part of my coaching. Okay, we're opening up volatility candle session, London session highs, through London session highs and through New York session highs, right? Although not quite through New York session highs. So we're through London session highs, New York session expands. Let's wait patiently. If we get a green dot against New York session highs, we're just going to go long. And for now, we're just going to trade wealth charts. I'm going to just keep trading the evals, not the fundeds, just for a second. But what I was going to tell you is, while we're going to get involved in trading, don't go anywhere, because the tools are just going to keep coming. I'm going to show you a couple of completely free tools for anybody to use. If you have an MT5 account, you can use it. If you have a TradeOvate account, you can use it. If you have a Wealth Charts account, you can use it. I'm going to show you some super cool stuff. So hang with me for the session, not just for trading, but for the tools, and I'll be happy to give them away to you as we trade. So we're watching the flush move here. Went through the 25,000, really big pump on the move. I'm going to call this the hockey team rally. This is the Buy America rally, based upon the fact that we won the hockey title. All right, looks pretty good. We're really aiming for session highs here, and I'm going to stay patient. Green dot near session highs. We have 23 seconds left. If we kind of break through them, gotta be a believer. It's a big vol candle for sure. As long as this candle stays near its half, doesn't retrace too much. All right, I'm going to long. We're long here. Let's see if we get some continuity. I might get pulled back here on volatility, but let's see if I get some continuity here. There we go. Almost. There we go. Beautiful. First trade of the day. Eval takes me to 500, and we keep pumping. Now we wait a little bit, because I think we're going to be in a little bit of a consolidative mode here. Let's see how it looks on. Just see these big, massive. This was a risk, of course, because this was a huge vol candle, and you knew that this is one of those things where if you took the trade, it could have retraced and then went your way. So you could have been right on the direction, wrong on the trade. But I took the trade, and it did work for 10 without retracing me out. We are still bumping up against this. I guess this 25.40 is the session highs that we're still playing with, but for now we're just going to simply wait here and just see what comes up next. But what I'm showing here on my trading view charts is actually the 8 SMA against the VWAP, and you see that it's a much more durable upside trend so far, right? That's the key thing. We're basically showing you pretty much a strong upside trend right now, and the dominant trades that you want to be doing are going to be on the side of the longs. Give me some plus ones. Tell me you hear me. Tell me you see me. Tell me you understand what I'm saying, because I want to make sure that everybody's following me carefully here on the trades. Where do I change to VWAP? You have to have the F10. You're going to go right up here, and then you go into trend filter, and instead of choosing the SMA, choose VWAP, and then it's automatically going to do that for you. Were you guys able to do this? Let me give me a plus one if you've actually been able to do this on TradingView. Hi, Gloria. Good job. Okay, So here's where it gets interesting too. We touch New York session highs, but now, we're flirting with New York session lows, which is the 957s. And, regardless of where we are on the moving averages, I really love to trade session low, session high. So if they want to blast this down, if they want to reverse this, I'm not at all opposed to selling this. I get a red dot against session lows, I'll sell it. But we'll see where it wants to go. You see, it also, interestingly enough, generates much less. Well, it does generate some crossovers over here, but they're sort of fewer and far between. The 200 SMA is a little bit more sensitive, so you're going to get a lot more crossovers there, which is something that I don't like. Okay, so we got a red dot, 34 seconds. We're blasting through session lows, 971, right? No, not this is this is the session. I'm trying to see if I'm correct on the session lows here. No, this is the box, and this is the session lows. We're not quite at session lows. Session lows is 57. Sorry, because I got a green over green. Sometimes it's hard to see. So no real short trades, kind of drill trades just yet. But let's see what happens. And when we get a little bit of a quiet moment, like maybe in the next 10, 15 minutes when things quiet down, we don't have any setups, hang tight. I'm going to show you some very, very cool things. And I'm going to give you the links to them as well. It's going to be very, very neat. If you trade MetaTrader 5, actually give me a +1, or just tell me, you know what, let's do, should we do a poll? We haven't done a post in a long time. This is going to be a cool poll. This is just a platform check. Oh, we're getting a move, 22 seconds. Just watching this. Platform check. I trade MT5. Trade debate. Well, charts. No, we're reversing. Good. It's looking like we're going to go up. Getting a buy signal. Both. All right. Answer my poll, guys. I'm actually curious. You trade both. You trade evade well charts. I'm curious where everybody is, because I have tools for every one of those platforms right now. You're going to really, really like. 34 seconds on the clock. Kind of a shy buy. It's a shy buy. It's a shy buy signal. I love it. What's a shy buy signal? It's like when it looks really like a buy and then it retreats almost into a no signal. Shy, too shy. Who sang that? Was it Boy George? The shy buy. All right, we got 5 seconds. We gotta go. Buy. We are long. Let's see if it's oh. No. Long and strong. We got flipped. Okay, no biggie. That was a legit buy. It just simply reversed, like literally the moment we bought it. So lots of vol, and we ate that one. That was a truly clean trade that just reversed. I know the fact that it's reversed really hard is interesting, because we'll see if this is just a battle of the wills and they're going to reestablish. If they take out the longs, we're going higher. I mean, they take out the highs, they're going higher. Kasha Gugu. I forgot the name of them. Right. Right. Kakagugu. Right. Shy to shy. That was a shy buy that stuffed us very, very quickly. All right. We're going to hit session longs. I'm going to go into the other account, the 83 account, and red dot, session lows, 34 seconds left. We stay near session lows. If we keep pressing that, we're definitely going into the trade. 26, 27, fresh session lows. We already made fresh session lows, so you got to like this trade. We're selling hard here. 18, 19 seconds. Hardest part about this trade is having to wait patiently for the candle to close, and then having to worry about the retrace, which could happen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wait, what happened? Oh, come on. Oh, oh, come on. What was that? That was such a lame, that was a lame ass entry. Do you see that? It took me, it was a delayed entry. Fuck you. That was bullshit. That was a delayed entry that was not good. That was just a bad execution. For some reason, it didn't get me done. Not good. Not good. I'm sorry. That was bullshit. All right, we're gonna keep drilling on the lows. All right, recover some of this. Still hitting session lows. Should have just kept drilling it. That was a bullshit entry. I was in over here. Should have got me done before the retrace. But it is what it is. You just, the other thing that I learned is when you're at 1-2, I don't give a shit what happens. You can always recover. We can always recover. Let's see where we are on the VWAP. We are through the VWAP. We're actually below VWAP. Now we kind of turn negative, right, on the trade through this 900 level, which is a critical level. Trying to hold support here. You could tell, when that buy signal got reversed, I really had the vibe that they're going to just run the lows, which they've done. Still staying at the lows. So, see if they want to press any further. Okay, getting some of this back. This is to put this, if you look at this on TradingView, this is what we call the jackhammer trade, where you just hit the lows, dots through the session lows until eventually you're kind of bouncing off the bottom here, finding a little bit of a bottom. Well, I call this the diamond bottom, where you can't drill any further through it. Like we'll drill through this level, drill through this level, drill through this level. And now, we're actually negative trend at this point. We're below VWAP, but it's going to take a while to see. First of all, it's just slightly below. So the question is, are we going to remain here, or is this just a, casual dip, profit-taking dip, and then they're going to start taking it back up? We'll see. We'll let the market tell us how the price action wants to play itself out. Now, one of the interesting things, by the way, that I was doing also in pre-New York session is when you're trading above the VWAP, right, and you're seeing the white dots, the early turn dots. I was actually taking a lot of these trades. I was taking the early trades, and they were working even better. They're more risky because obviously you don't have the full confirmation of the Christmas tree label. But if you are in sync with the VWAP, it really puts you on the right side of the trade. Now, conversely, if we're now below VWAP, what you should be doing with selling. Fuck. I'm sorry, guys. I'm talking and not doing. I should have sold this. This is what I was going to say is when you get the purple dot underneath the VWAP, you should have been selling. I should have been selling this 82. Yeah, this would have been a super easy trade. I'm sorry. I'm just yapping, but I'm not paying attention. Okay, it's fine. we'll we'll give it a little bit more time. Okay, Christmas tree label against negative VWAP, because remember we're underneath VWAP, right? But why is this not showing me a Christmas tree over here? Oh, I know why. Because we haven't. This is going off VWAP, and the other one is going off the 200 SMA. So not yet a Christmas tree. This is going to be the true signal. But session lows, gotta hit it. Sell. Oh, I'm late. Come on. No, I'm late. Bad execution. Look at this. I'm jumping around from one chart to another instead of staying on this thing. Bad execution. Damn it. I'm late. That would have been a good trade. I just simply came in too late. All right, let's focus. Good trades, bad execution, just eating a little bit of my well charts. But I'm trading this on evals, which is why I'm sort of a lot less focused than what I would be on TradingView. I just wanted to give you a little bit of well charts flow. Big pop on well charts over here. Big reversal move, right? Huge move off the bottom. So not a trade, but I'll give it a shot. I'm an inveterate bottom picker. Actually, the trade here should be, you got to stay here. If you believe in this trade, you got to let this whole candle, and you got to come back down and buy down if it's gonna come back out. This is kind of a crash and burn trade if you're trading the reverse. But I think I'm going to be able to get this reversed. Yeah, I got the reverse. Okay, but you simply can't have a tiny little stop here. You have to just come in for a large stop, and if this thing was coming down, you have to buy more on a belief that there was going to be a true reversal. Sorry, I'm switching between wealth and TradingView, and that's why it's less focused. Let's switch to just TradingView. Let's trade. Just TradingView right now, normal trades. Let me make sure which accounts I'm in. What am I, 43? What account have I done now? 54? Let's trade 54. All right, next interesting setup we'll trade 54. If we get a signal. We are below trend. We're now below the VWAP, right? This is the VWAP. This is the 8 SMA. Breaking down. Let's see what we have as far as signals go. Yeah, we're back to the VWAP. Watching around. But if things quiet down a little bit right now, it'll be a good chance for us to take a look at some tools that I built for you guys. But give it a second. Let's just see what's going on here. All right, looks like we held the bottom here for the time being, but that doesn't mean anything. We're still underneath this is 8. This is the VWAP. We're still underneath it. So bias is really negative until we can recover the VWAP. And then you have confidence that this is a true bottom. This was just a bounce bottom. And obviously, if they want to retest it, that's going to be an interesting retest here as well. All right, coming down. Trying to see if I have a sell signal. I need that red, rectangle, but no sell signal. Okay. Nope. Holding the bottom so far. and through the VWAP. There's a lot of sell thrown at the market, but they really bought it hard on the bottom here. So let's see if they want to rebuild it. We're using VWAP just as a substitute for 200 SMA. There's nothing more complicated than that around it. Big pop, big pop. Still negative trend, but we definitely popped to the upside. All right, now you got to. Now I think I'm going to go long here. And again, here you really got to be a believer that this is a turn. I got to be underneath here, there, and I'm done again. So we recover some of the bad execution losses, come back up, just trading, just trading the reversals. We don't have any actual Christmas tree labels in our direction, but we're just trading the reverse momentum on a very clean, clear definition. We see the big moves, we see the dots, we see the the moves to the upside, all working pretty well. $25, $40, $80, $50, basically 200-point range on the New York Open. And we may be bouncing in between here. One of the really interesting things that I gleaned from out of Oz was that when you're in the mid, you're sort of like mid to VWAP, that's a very, very unclear area, and not one you really want to be playing. Until you get some clean signals, just pure signals from our end, trend signals. Like this whole middle area is all very much chop. We either get interested in participating at the session highs or session lows, or until we cleanly, definitively start trading a positive trend to the upside. So 8 now finally turning almost positive to 8 SMA, and maybe 2-3 candles forward, we're going to get a green trend to the upside. What's pretty clear this morning is that after taking out the highs, we flushed to the lows and then made higher lows. They bought it again. And unless they come back and start to smash the lows, we really don't have anything to do. Like the market structure is just all choppiness now, right? These trades over here, even if they're signaling trades, are very, very mid, as my daughter says. They are not high quality signals because they're sort of in this mid range where price action can go either way without really attracting fresh flow, right? So you're flowing around. So give it another minute, and then I want to show you a couple of cool things on the plate. Let me see if I can actually load it up. By the way, those of you who are interested, let me see. Okay, cool. Yes. You guys should be able to see this now, right? Let me just go back to see how the charts are trading. All right. I want to show you something super cool that hopefully you guys like. These are all free tools. I'm happy to share them with you. Here's the link if you want it. What this is, how many of you guys have Tradevate accounts? I see 50% of the group have Tradevate accounts, right? You know how it's like really, really hard to try to analyze what you did? Let's go back in here. You guys can see my whole screen. I'm going to go into reports, right? And I'm going to go, I'm just going to go, not today, but let's just say, do I want to go this month? Okay, let me do this. Actually, you know what? Let's go today. Let me just go today. I'm going to show you today. So today, download CSV 45, 57, download CSV, 43, download CSV. I'm just going to do like 4 or 5 of these. What I just downloaded? 40, 53, download CSV. I forgot which ones I already did. Okay. So I just downloaded 4 CSV files. All I did is just downloaded them, right? Watch what happens. I'm going to click to browse. I'm going to pull up my screen and just highlight these and say open, right? Now we have 4 accounts. I think one of these may be a dupe, but just, bear with me. It's not the point. I have like 4 accounts over here, right, that I just uploaded. Everything that's going to happen right now is happening in my own browser. When you guys do this, I have 0 control, access, or knowledge of this thing. Everything that I wrote is happening on your computer, not on mine. It's not in the cloud. It's not in the cloud. So don't worry if, I don't have any access to your information. It's all local, right? Watch what happens, right? What do we do? 33. Oh, what? Oh, because none of these accounts had any data. Sorry. Let's do a better job. Let's just do 1 account at a time. I'm going to do 43 this month. Okay. Download CSV. And I'm going to just show you 1 account at a time so you guys can understand. So it's going to be 35. And I'm going to analyze this. Okay. Look how fast that was. Did you see that? Before I could even click the thing, the whole account is fully analyzed. Are you guys watching this? So I just took 1 account, which was like my 43 account for the last month. Tell me everything that's happening in this account, right? And you can see like huge amount of problems in this account. This is, big P&L, but look at the comms. Look at my comms. Look at my comms as percent of gross. 61% of my total profit has been paid to comms. Very, very high. Usually this turns red if it's 20% or more. So you want to keep it under 20%. Here it tells me my net P&L for the account, my win rate, my profit factor, which is the only thing that really matters. Profit factor is basically how much money do you make, your total profit against your total losses. That's the only thing that ultimately really, really matters. And that's actually the only thing that prop firms really want to look at. If you have a positive profit, what they want to see is a 1.5 profit factor, right? Right over here, you have maximum drawdown. You have my best times, my worst times, my fastest time in trade, my slow, what my average loser, how much time I spend in a loser. What's my biggest win streak? What's my biggest loss streak over here? My risk to reward, right? Which is not horrible. I'm risking 1 to I'm risking 2 to make 1. It's a 1 to a half, which is fine. By the way, I think now that I look at it, I'm probably going to just flip it around for everybody. So the point is that you have all of these tiles. Now this is where it gets also really, really cool. You can also see every single trade you've ever done in this account in a nice, clean, chronological order. Everything that I bought, like, so this is everything I bought in gold. Because remember, when we were trading gold, clearly I was doing really, really well in gold, right? Everything I bought in MNQ, show me trades, right? You can analyze it by instrument, all the trades you've done chronologically in this whole account, how many trades, so on and so forth. Much cleaner, much easier than you would, over here in TradeAway, right? All that stuff. And then you can also see your largest win, your largest loss, your best net performance, most trades, which was the instrument that I did the most trades in. That was MNQ, right? The second one was MGC. Tells you anything you want to know, in terms of how you performed, so on and so forth. You can see that NASDAQ was the one that really, really killed me. But the final thing is, what if you wanted to just kind of save this flash information? Just hit the download, and it's taking its time to generate, because I gave it way too much information. It's going to take a long time. And now I've just downloaded this whole PDF to myself, and you guys can see it, and you have all the information for yourself. So you can take a screenshot of yourself and say, oh, this is my notes for myself. And you can basically save these downloads to your folder. to everything else. So this is Trade Evade, right? I did this exact same thing. Let's see, by the way, where we are on the nothing's going on in the marketplace. I did the exact same thing for wealth charts, but obviously it's a different format, right? Here's wealth charts. Just give it a second to pull it up. Okay, here's the wealth charts thing. And for example, so let's do wealth charts. I'm going to go in here. What do we have? Do we have a sell signal here? No, nothing. I'm going to go into wealth charts over here. Let's just today's account. I'm going to go to 282. This is my. Is that my today's account? Yeah, I guess so. 282. That'll be my today's account. The way you do this, you go into broker portfolio, right? You go into trades, and you can choose 282. Here's my 282, and I want to. This is everything. So I'm going to export to CSV. So orders 12. This is my 282. Now I'm going to go into wealth charts. I'm going to browse this. This is the one that the most recent one, right? Let's hit analyze all files. And here's the account that I just opened up today. Full analytics, much better. Look at the win rate, 87%. Look at the profit factor. Look how well I'm doing on the profit factor. Everything there, right? And the cool thing about wealth charts, by the way, is it actually keeps the account number. You can tell, it tells you which account number you're trading. So the wealth charts analytic is really, really cool, right? Very, very cool, right? But that's not all. It slices, it dices, but that's not all. Because I also did a MetaTrader one. Okay. And I think, hold on. I think it's going to be Ola. Let me make sure I got this one. I'm going to show you one for Ola. Let's see if I can put, yes. Okay. So if you've traded MT5, right, you know what kind of a nightmare MT5 is to analyze. It's the most horrible thing in the world. So here I'm going to click to browse, and this is the MetaTrader one. All you got to do is just export all your history in MetaTrader into a spread, into an XLS, not even a CSV. This will take CSV or XLS, right? Open this up. Now we have the report, analyze my files. And this is going to analyze, analyzes all of my MT5 files, which are just a nightmare to understand. And now you see your average 3NL, what I did. What would I trade? I traded only gold in the old account. 93 trades, gross P&L. There was no commissions because this is a net account. Little bit lame profit factor, but that's because I was doing a lot of demos. But if I was serious about this, if I was really, really serious and focused on this, I could improve this to 70 win rate, 130, 140 profit factor. This account can go to target very, very quickly. And again, same idea. The whole, if you want to see all the trades, just simply hit show trades, and it will show you all the trades I did in a nice, clean fashion. Tells me the time when I executed them, all chronologically, from 128, I guess, to 219. So this is like about two weeks worth of trading that you can see over here, right? And again, same thing. Hit the download PDF, and you can save this to the download. So I will post all the links for you guys in a minute. But I just thought you guys would really, really enjoy it. It's very, very cool, and hopefully you guys have a good time with it. All right, so now we actually have a sell signal. Let's get serious for a second. I'll send you all the analytics in just 1 second. 35 seconds left. Big, massive sell signal here, which I want to be in 54. Yeah, I haven't done any trades in 54. I want to do threes, and I actually want to get, now where the other thing I forgot, I totally forgot about this. We should have been trading 2040. It's one of the reasons why I got stuffed on a couple of those trades. I forgot that we were in New York session. I should have been trading 2040. All right, this is the only thing I hate about this trade and why I'm not going to do it, as tempting as it is. You know why? We're a double bottom trade, and that's a sucker bet. It doesn't matter that it's a sell signal. I would rather give up the opportunity here and have it blast through the lows. If this thing breaks the 850 lows and goes lower, I'll sell it. Otherwise, this is just a sucker setup because it's a double bottom setup, right? It's just not there yet. It's just not there yet. So even sometimes, even when there's a signal, you have to be mindful of all the context. So I'm not selling this unless this drills like a banshee through the 50s, which it starts to do. So I'm waiting patiently to see if it breaks, if the candle holds. All right, short here. Oh, damn it. Oh, damn it. Oh, fuck. I did the wrong thing. I'm sorry, guys. It should have been, oh, God damn it. I had the wrong, I had the 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. Okay. You know what? Let's sell this now. See if I'm right on this. I'm sorry. Trying to do a million things and I keep forgetting what I'm doing. So this was, it definitely, hit a bounce into the lows and bounced back. This was a fake, kind of a double bottom lower. I should have been, my first instinct was not to trade this, and I kind of forced the trade now that I'd made the mistake of doing the wrong stops. I had a 20-40 stop the other way. So this one looks like it's going to just bleed me out on bad execution. If it really bounces. This was a double bottom bounce. This was really not fresh lows. But let's see if I'm going to survive it. That is the risk reward. Yes, 20-40 is the risk reward. But it's not really helping me now because no risk reward is going to help you if you're in the wrong executed trade. And this was a double bottom. My instinct was not to take this because we already had a double bottom. We already had a bottom here. And I think the lesson here is obviously you want the price to really prove it to yourself, not like just bullshit prove it to yourself by like 5-10 points to the low. This is a very, very common trap. And I fell into it with you guys today. Lesson learned. We're not going to do this again. In terms of letting this trade, in order for this to truly be a continuation trade, you probably needed it to continue all the way down to like 820. This was a testable double bottom, and now I'm just basically sitting here trying to see if the sellers can establish. The only thing that's working in our favor right now, and we'll have to see if it's strong enough, is that we're below the VWAP. The sellers clearly have control, and maybe this is the second wave of selling that we have on our hands. All right. Well, I managed to really make lemonade out of lemons. But that was a dumbass trade. That was just a dumbass trade. Now the trade is not so bad. Well, we'll see. It's got to really hold the bottoms. But here's the thing that helped me survive this trade, and this is the thing that I kind of again want to stress for you. I had a 40-point stop. I had a large stop on that trade, and that's what gave me the breathing room, because it's going to, unless it's a V shape and you're just dead, it gave me the breathing room to survive that fucking, retrace up my ass before I was able to resolve it. And by the way, this is, of course, not a great trade, because remember, just like you have a shy buy, you have a shy sell. This was a sell that did not end on the lows. It ended up pretty much mid. And we're still, when you're looking at the market structure here, it still looks more like a double bottom than the truly, true continuity trade to the downside. And that's the most important question you want to ask yourself. Is this really a continuity move? That's why the first high, the first move is always the best, because that's the freshest one. That's the one that's going to, burst through the highs and the lows. Once you're coming in for a second round at these levels, a lot more people are going to be on the opposite side of your trade, because they're going to be thinking, oh, this is, they're just testing the bottom. I really want to be a buyer here because I'm looking for a bounce. And indeed, the bounce is really what you're seeing here on the screen. So I fucked up twice and I got lucky, but I did have one thing on my side, which was that I had the right wide stops. The wide stops was the sort of the third thing that I forgot to tell you about. So I said, I went to a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio. I want to trade with VWAP, and I had wide stops, wide targets. I widened my volatility, so I'm going to have less trades, but much more profit per trade on a single basis, right? Like, for example, just for argument's sake, this is 54, right? This is the 54 account. Let's just do a quick analysis of the 54 account. So I'm going to go to reports, 54. I'm going to download CSV. Is it downloading? Of course, Trade-Evade now is just going to get funky on me. Okay, finally did download it. So 36 downloaded. So let's go. And it's basically, if you guys want to remember, it's Go BK Traders Trade-Evade is, I'll give you the links, but if you remember, it's pretty simple. Oh, Jesus Christ. Trade-Evade. If I could only type. Okay, here's Trade-Evade, and I'm going to just take this. This is the trade we just did. 36, right? 36 over here. Analyze it for me. So, wait, what happened here? Why is this gross P&L? Wait, let me see what the trades were. Is this the wrong one? Oh, that's weird. Why did this? Oh, maybe it just didn't download. Okay, let's see the difference between this account. Oh, you know what? It's probably just it didn't export the whole file. Look at that. Look at that. That's very weird. It's showing a negative when my total P&L is positive. Obviously, it just didn't register. So this is just an absolute. You see this? There's a positive P&L here. It just simply didn't register these trades. So I'm gonna have to wait for Trade-Evade to process. That's just a problem of Trade-Evade now processing stuff. But just for argument's sake, let's do 43, which is a legit account that I traded today. 43, right? And total P&L. Let's just double check to make sure that Trade-Evade is showing me. Now I don't know what's going on here. You see that? It's just not showing me any data. The Trade-Evade export function is just not working. So when the export function doesn't work, nothing can work. But that's not a problem. No, for Asia, I expanded the risk reward to 10-20 for everything. So in Asia, I traded actually 10-20, and in New York, I trade 20-40 to make my life easier. Wow, what a piece of crap this is turning out to be in terms of export functions, right? Look how bad that is in terms of export functions. Let's give it one more shot. Maybe it's finally alive. Let's go to. Let's see if this is gonna. Oh yeah, now it's finally starting to show some trade. Okay, so we're gonna go this right, and we're gonna go download CSV. Okay, 37. Now we're gonna analyze my 37. I'm gonna get rid of the thing, you can do both. You can do just one. See, I can delete it like that, nice and easy, and just do that. And here we go. So here's gross P&L, comms is percent of gross, which is pretty good. Profit factor is 2.8, all good. I mean, this is like, risk reward is 1-to-1.4, really good. All that stuff just coming up super, super quickly for you on a quick shot. Obviously, you don't use this all the time. You do it at the end of the day when you've done 20, 30 trades. You can take a quick snapshot of what you want to do, and you're good to go. Rick is asking an interesting question. He says he's had a lot of success. You're the only one trading New York afternoon, 2 p.m. to the close. Do I suggest 10-20 for that? What have you been using in New York afternoon? Because vol is very, very small. What are you trading? What's been your ratio in New York afternoon? No, it's points. Ben is trading. It's done by points. 5-15. Okay, so try 10-20. Yeah, try 10-20 because you were trading low. You're trading Asia type of volatility, but just improve your ratios, and I bet you're going to do great. Try 10-20, and you'll do great. Ben, what's the question? It's not ticks, it's points. It's actually creating. It's doing it in points because it's much easier for people to understand points. It's analyzing points. If you go to the analyzer, right? Gross P&L, net P&L, profit. Average points per trade? 14 points. Yes, points. It's looking at points. Okay, to make it really easy. Yeah. All right, you guys want the links? Everybody wants the links. So let me. It's all basically the same domain, but just under different names. So if you have, this is Trade-Evade. This is if you want to do Trade-Evade. This is if you want to do wealth charts, which is WC. And this, if you want to do MetaTrader, it's a little bit longer. MetaTrader. God damn. Can I ever spell MetaTrader /Ola? Okay. So if you're running Olas, I'd love to. Anybody who's got Ola and running an account, do me a favor. Export all your history, drop it in there, analyze it, send me the PDF. I'd love to see it. As a matter of fact, anybody, feel free to send me your PDFs. We'll actually this is going to be a great tool for us in coaching. You'll be able to show me your performance, and we can kind of analyze what's working, what's not working. But I'm really interested in on the MetaTrader stuff because that's just a complete nightmare to understand natively, and I'm hoping that this is really going to be useful for you guys as an analytical tool. So if the question was, Boris, what were you doing this whole weekend while it was threatening to slow in New York City? The answer was this. Got nice turns on the trades, guys. As a contrarian in me, I absolutely love these turn trades. Over here, I would have loved it over here actually better. But if we're going to go here, let me go to MNQ. I will buy this, but here's the thing. I want 40-20. I want to move this back here, and I want this. Did we buy 10? No, I bought 5. Okay. All right, I'll put this over here. Let's see if give myself enough room for this turn trade. The real great turn trade was over here, but I'm trading the evals, so I'm obviously a lot less concerned about all of this than I would be on the fundeds. But better late than never, right? There we go. Nice pop, and we're back to 500 on the account. That's good. That's really, really good. But you know, Rick now, so Rick is saying that, you know, he just bangs them out. Now what's really good is that don't look at them, and then at the end of the day, upload your data, you know, create an analytic dashboard, do a PDF, send it down to me, or look at it yourself, and they will tell you. Like, you're absolutely right. Like, Rick this is probably the best advice you're all going to get in the room ever. And I'm guilty of not doing it, but this is where you want to be. You just want to be doing perfect trades. You don't give a shit what the results are. That's where the analyzer comes in, because at the end of the day, when the dust settles, that's when you can look at the analyzer and say, oh, you know, what happened today? But if you're constantly looking at the P&L intraday instead of looking at really, really good trades, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time, and you are actually probably hurting yourself, because you're not giving yourself the best chance for success. You're letting fear take over most of the time. OTR says that the cartel violence in Mexico doesn't seem to have, no. You know why? Because it's, you know, it's puny, right? OTR, do you not think that we could send like 3 gunships over there and literally strafe every one of those motherfuckers into oblivion in a second? This is, you know, we let them, you know, have their little orgiastic expression for a second. But, you know, Trump's not fucking around. Cartels are done. You know, cartels are the new Hamas. They're done. Every one of those fuckers, Hamas, cartels, they're all gone. And that's good. And Rick says that rotating accounts, that's very important. Yes, that's actually been a huge, huge help for me, is just rotate them out. Do a trade, rotate them out. And the beautiful thing is, I'm sorry, you know, I didn't get a chance. Let me show you. We just didn't export a lot, but actually, I think I have some. Okay, so let's do this. I think I have some. I'm gonna show you how you could. I showed you just one account at a time, but this thing can do all of them at a time. So click to browse. Let's find. Okay, here we go. These are like, you know, old accounts, like 6 or 7 accounts, right? Look at this, 6 or 7 accounts. I just uploaded. I'm going to press the button. 10 seconds later, boom, boom, boom. This is analysis of my whole portfolio. Look how fast that is. It's actually not bad. Not fucking bad. Profit needs to be 1.5, but close enough. Not horrible. You know, lots of improvement, but, you know, overall 36, I should be at 20, but not horrible. Not fucking horrible for the portfolio, right? Then you get an instant read of what you're doing. And that was like 8 accounts that I just you know, uploaded in 1 second. So it's, hopefully you guys really find it useful. It's really designed. It's designed for what we do here, which is multiple accounts, lots of trading, and running, you know, lots and lots of contemporary accounts. Which, speaking of which, by the way, everybody go out there and get some Apexes right now. We funded live on Friday. I didn't even realize this, but I had like 2 funded accounts in wealth charts that I haven't even touched. I have like 61 and 62 that I haven't even touched, right? I really sort of not been doing too much work with wealth charts, because I've been working so much on, you know, getting all of this stuff on Tradeovate working. But all of this stuff is really useful. Remember, these accounts are yours forever unless you burn them. And having the tool set, having the structure, having the analytics now, you should be able to not burn them, because you'll be able to have a really clean, clear vision of everything. So I'm hoping you guys have you guys give me some love. Can I see some hearts for the tools that I made? I really like them, and you know, even if you don't like them, even if I don't get any hearts, I'm going to heart myself, because I use them for myself all the time as a quick read of what I want to do. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, but OTR, you're like in a hockey penalty box, right? Did you guys see? First of all, how great was it the U.S. won? That was such a nice day yesterday. That kid is ridiculous. Playing with like, I don't even know how much, he's going to have that whole tooth replaced. There's just so much dental work on him to be done. But what a warrior he was. And how much fun it was to see that, right? Yes. Next big volatile news will be next week, Friday, for NFP, not PPI. Well, I think we have PPI on Friday, so we're definitely going to straddle PPI. Yeah. I would check that out. They did improve their dashboard. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Apex dashboard because I think it's really useful for what it does. Here, let me get out of this thing. Just realized I'm over here. I want to be trading. Because it really shows you what you, by the way, with these new rules that I've showed you, I had like a ton of violations. I had a fuck ton of MAE violations on all my things. They're all going to go away. You're going to see like this week, I'm going to have 0 red flags on any one of my accounts if I just simply do what I'm doing right now. So that's going to be also proof positive of how the strategy is just perfectly compliant to the Apex funding rules. Which, by the way, if you can pass the Apex funding rules, you can pass almost any other prop, because that's the thing. Apex makes it very easy to pass the eval, but probably the hardest to pass the funding by far. They have the most gates, the most difficulty, the most obscure little rules. So if you can get through those, Lucid, Tradeify, all those guys just fall by the wayside because they're so much easier to pass. So it's going to be test by fire for us. All right, so here we go. This is an interesting setup here. Sell signal, 17 seconds left. Legit. This is legit. We're below VWAP. We're pretty far away from the low end point, so there's plenty of room to travel for us. And I want to go to 56. No, I want to go to 57. And I'm late. Let's see. Okay, 57. I'm in at 57. Let's move to 57. Let's see if this is going to work. Okay, here's my 57 trade. It's a 40-20 trade. I'm giving myself lots of room to breathe here. It's moving. And I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to take the $60 here. The reason why I'm going to take that is because it's almost 10 o'clock. We got to go. Also, it's not very volatile today. So 20-point extension may not happen. We got like a 15-point extension, which was just about the most I could get. But overall, look at the efficiency of the P&L here. 1-2 trades, $50 per account. This probably is actually going to go my way here. But my point is that every trade trip or trade execution should be pretty efficient for you. Like, in other words, instead of trying to make $5 1,000 times a day, make $100 5 times a day net, and you'll spend a lot of less energy, be a little bit far more efficient in your trade structure. The stops will also be a lot more forgiving. For example, this trade over here, right? If we had a 10-point, 20-point stop, would have been already stopped out. But a 40-point stop is a lot more forgiving to let you hold in this trade in case it starts to press to the lows again. Now, if it doesn't, if this is the absolute bottom, fuck it. That means the setup failed. But just I just took my profit over here nicely. But if I wanted to just be stubborn and hold in the trade, I would have been able to survive the stop here nicely, right? And maybe 2 or 3 candles down, it will resolve to the downside. So all of this gives you just a higher chance of success in 100 different little ways in terms of being able to trade the trade. three things that I want to kind of give away, walk away with in terms of tactical improvements. Trade with the VWAP, widen the volatility, and what was the third thing I said? I already forgot what I was doing. What the hell? What was my third commandment that I traded? Guys, what was the third thing that I said that I already forgot? Yeah. I like the rotating. For just psychological reasons, Rick, because, I think when you try to do serial trades, unless you can withstand 2 or 3 losers in a row, it really starts to weigh on you. So rotating, keeps me in belief. See how, like, if I'm staying in this trade, it starts to move, it starts to move my way. And if I was really, remember 78, the target is going to be 58, right? At 61, it almost hit 20. And if I was patient enough, it's probably going to hit, it would have hit that, that big 120 target for us, for the move. What was it? Guys, what was the third thing I said? Jesus Christ, I forgot my own rules. I traded with VWAP. I increased my volatility. Was it only 2 points? Or did I just forget, like, the third point that we changed, that I try to take Christmas tree only? I don't know. What did I forget? By the way, you see how close this is? I think this hit target. This hit plus 20 target, right? If I just was patient enough, I would have had plus 20 here instead of having plus 10. Ratio. Thank you. Jesus fucking Christ. Thank you, Nico. Ratio. 3 things. 3 things to make your life a lot more profitable. Trade with VWAP. Widen the volatility, meaning go from 10-20 to 20-40, and tighten the ratio to 1-2 versus 1-3. Those 3 things make an incredible difference in performance. All right, how's that sound to you guys? Do I leave you with anything else, or are we good to go on all those 3 things? Winner, chicken dinner, right? We good. Okay, turning. Okay, so let's just play this one more game, guys, because it's a clean turntable, turn candle. We're gonna go to the wealth charts ones. Let me go back to my evals. Let's go to the 83 eval, right? I gotta like this, but I gotta like this. Hold on, I gotta make it wide. It's gotta be 80, 160. So this is a 40. Okay, close. Now it's gotta hold. This shit better be holding. It's not gonna die on me. It's not gonna be a shy buy. Oh, it's a shy buy. No trade. I was so excited for the turn. No turn. It's a shy buy. Buy. All right, we wait patiently. Next candle. That's got to really rally, because the highs on this candle is massive. So I'll hang with you. Let's hang for like 5 more minutes. I think, let me just make sure Kay hasn't scheduled my ass into yet another endless meeting for me. I think I'm okay. Hold on a second. Okay. No, I'm good. Okay. We're working session lows. Now working session lows. Again, double bottom. I hate these trades. But Wow, it's so interesting how the dots just totally foretelling. This is gonna be a sell. We're gonna sell this. This is making fresh session lows. We got if this thing holds, if the dot holds, we got to sell this. But it is still testing this double bottom. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sell. All right, we short this. Let's see if they're going to drill, baby, drill to the bottom. Making fresh lows, but not by much. We went from 40 to 30, just 10 points to the lows. Let's see if they want to if they want to pressure it more. That's ticks. It's always ticks. English, man. Do you not know the Wealth Trust platform? Everything is in ticks. Everything in every futures platform is always ticks. Oh God. Oh my God. I would I feel you. Tim, what's the plus? Oh, +1 on the VWAP instructions. Oh, we're turning. We're turning, which is fine because now I'm gonna trade the other account the other way because I think like again, you know, you can really see this 1030 turn, right? You know, my instinct is always that the 1030 is a much better turn. So let's actually go to the 82 account, right? And we're gonna go buy market. Oops, buy market. And I'm gonna trade the turn here. My bet here is that this turn holds. That this turn is gonna hold. I'm still in the other trade. I still have a little bit of stoppage left there, but I don't think they're gonna test the lows. But it really feel like we made the white dot. We made the double bottom turn. I think the turn holds. Let's see. Under session lows. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe maybe this was a snapback and they want to come back and kill it. Let's see. I'm going to add to this position here a little bit, come back here and come back here, and we'll see if my thesis is right. Or this thing is going to break. This was a false turn. Let's see. How's the other account? Is the other account still alive? Yeah, the other account. I'm still in the other account. That one, that short is challenging. Fresh session lows. I still think the turn holds. We'll see. It's a battle of the beasts here. I'm inveterate bottom picker, right? So I'm always looking for a turn. But the reason why I think this is like a reasonable trade is because this is the typical 1030. Although remember, a lot of times you have a 1030 test, 11 test, and maybe the 1130 will be the turn trade. That's the thing about turn trades. You got to give it 2 or 3 times before they actually start to really work. So maybe the session, maybe it's going to just, that session lows trade is going to work. We'll see. Let's see the other account. Yeah, that's where it's selling session lows, but coming back. If this, I'm gonna make an executive decision. Flatten. All right. So I made a bet. You know, it works. It doesn't work. The bet I made here is that it held the session lows. So this isn't going to go any further. I took a small loss here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But this puts the focus back on the turn trade, and let's see if the turn trade survives this move, or it just crashes back to the lows. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. Now, I'm being very aggressive on both sides because, again, I'm trading evals. If I was trading fundeds, I'd be a lot tighter on these trades, or maybe a lot smaller in size on these trades. To give myself, you have to be smaller to give yourself all that room of volatility. What you don't want to do is just get clipped out unnecessarily on the typical back and forth price action, right? But so far, nothing is moving, so I don't even know what's going to happen here. Looks like they're going to take the lows. My bet on the turn isn't going to work today. Not going to work. We'll see. The turn crashes and burns. But, I mean, that's the point. It's, it's your eval account. That's where you get to play. That's where, you have super, super small fees. And regardless of where it is, it's still a very, very tight structure. I'm still not even remotely dead in it. I'm still net positive in this account. I still have the rest of the day to go. I could still bring it back up to, $500-$600. So we'll see. Yeah, Rick just resolved the shorts. Good for you. So, my bet on the turn didn't quite work. And the actual, fresh session lows now actually did work. So there you go. New trades. And what's interesting now is if you look at the chart now, this is literally now it cleared all these double bottoms, right? If we get continuity trade here, it's probably going to go down to the 800 level. Yeah, today doesn't work. Today the turn trade, and the turn trade may be half hour away. We may be like at 11:30 for the turn trade. It will show up on the dots. We'll get that white dot. It will show up, and we'll get a chance to trade it. Let's see what it wants to do. It may show up in the next two candles, right? Who knows? We can always give it a try. But in the meantime, just doing what I showed you. Nice, clean structure. You see how completely different my dashboard looks today than it did on Friday as I implemented these three big rules. VWAP, ratio, volatility. I'm going to make a video on this a little bit later for you guys, but hopefully, you appreciate and like it, because that really, it makes all the difference in the world. Okay. All right, guys, we got to go. Everybody having a great day today. I could trade with you. It's fresh session lows, by the way. Definitely. I'm just waiting. Unless it's a shy sell. Let's see if it comes back down. Nope. Shy sell. Shy sell. All right. I'll leave you guys alone. Still great. Couple of hours worth of trade for you guys left. Go knock them dead. Go get the Apex accounts. Have fun with the analyzers. I'll give you the links, as we go. I think, what I'm going to do, guys? I just realized this. you know how like in the dots playbook, right? I have the dots playbook. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create nav bars that link to Tradeovate, Well Charts, MetaTrader analyzers, and you guys can go out there. Once you have the dots playbook, it'll just be right off that page, so it'll make it much easier. Does that make sense? Is that a good idea? I think that's a good idea. This way, we don't have to, piecemeal it. It'll just be right up there on the nav bar, right? Let me hit that page. Let's see that page. Let me see what it does. Let me see where I can do it. Oh, it doesn't even have a nav bar. Oh, wow. Oh, so cool. Absolutely, we could do a nav bar here. I didn't realize we didn't have a nav bar. So we could do Tradeovate, Well Charts, MetaTrader analyzers just right off here. And then you guys can just click at them as you want, and it'll be perfect. That's a really good idea. That's putting everything all in one place. And I'm going to add, what do I need to add? We need to add the run session lows, run session highs, and maybe I'm going to add a section on VWAP, right? I'm going to do that too. So that'll be all cool. So we'll work on that. Okay, awesome. What's going on over here? Still trying to trade session lows. Session lows came down to the 16s. You know I'm going for this. You guys know I'm going for this, right? You know I'm going for this turn if this holds. Let's see if this holds. 10:45. Don't be a shy buy. 14:50. 9. Okay. In. All right, show me some love here. And I want to be like in. I really like this new version of Well Charts where everything is just sort of very nice, easily draggable like this. So we'll see. Oh man, the wind outside right now sounds like I'm in the middle of Alaska. Jesus. I mean, there's no private vehicles on the roads in New York City right now. I just hear the scraping of the plows. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you. We will, we will update this tomorrow. We'll see how the trade goes. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see everybody tonight in Asia Session Trade, 7 to 8:30. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.